Being skinny fat means that you don't have a lot of muscle, but your body fat is also quite high. So your arms look kind of skinny, but your belly still looks kind of fat. It's not a very nice position to be in, and it's where I started too, somewhere between like skinny and skinny fat. It's tempting to try and lose all your fat so that you can show off your abs, but if you do that, then you'll actually just end up being skinny with no muscle mass, and you probably won't be satisfied with that either. If you've got the patience for it, then the best option for most people is to maintain or do a lean bulk to build muscle. You won't have abs for a while, but building your muscles will obviously make you look better. You'll be stronger, you can build your abs so that they show even through a layer of fat. More muscle mass means your metabolism will speed up, so you'll naturally burn more calories without even doing cardio. So having more muscle makes it easier to lose fat. And that's why focusing on building muscle and strength is nearly always better than trying to lose fat. If you're skinny fat, then chances are you haven't been training very long, or your training hasn't been very effective because you're simply not that informed about how to train properly. And that's fine, and you'll understand what you need to do by the end of this video. If you have been working out, then you might have been doing dumbbell curls, dumbbell bench press, maybe some machines, and these are fine, but in most cases, your best bet is to get stronger at a few basic compound movements, which are movements that involve like multiple muscle groups, like a bench press, which hits your chest, shoulders, and triceps, or a pull-up, which hits your back and your biceps. So these are like the biggest bang for your buck exercises that hit multiple muscle groups at the same time. If you take your bench press from just the bar, so like 20 kilos or 45 pounds, up to one plate, or 60 kilos, 135 pounds, your chest will definitely get a bit bigger. And getting from a one plate bench to a 2-plate bench will grow your chest even more than that. So as a skinny fat guy, what you need to focus on is packing on slabs of muscle, focusing on the most important big muscle groups like the chest, back, the legs, shoulders. And the best way to do that is with compound exercises that you can reliably get stronger at over time, and obviously some isolations for the more neglected muscle groups. So the basic compounds include bench press or dip for mostly your chest, overhead press for your front delts, barbell row for your back thickness, pull up for your back width, squat for like your quads and your glutes, and then deadlift for your hamstrings and the rest of your posterior chain. And the muscles that aren't hit much with the compound movements include biceps, which you can hit with curls, triceps, which you can hit with extensions, abs, side delts, and rear delts, which you can hit with like lateral raises and reverse flies, and then calves. If you care about calves, then you can do like calf raises. So using these basic compound movements, you start with like just the bar, 20 kilos or 45 pounds, do like 3 sets of 6 to 8, and then the next workout add like 5 kilos or 10 pounds, and then do 3 sets of 6 to 8 again. And you repeat this every workout, and eventually it will slow down. You'll only be able to add 5 pounds or 2.5 kilos every workout, and then you'll only be able to add that every week. So your numbers will increase very quickly for a few months, even up to like a year or two, depending on how good your genetics are, like how good your diet was throughout your life, and how much physical activity you've done in the past. Eventually your progress will slow down, so you might only be able to add 5 pounds once a week, and then you'll only be able to add like a rep or two every week using the same weight. This is where rep ranges come in handy. So you might get 200 pounds, 3 sets of 6 one week, and then the same weight for 3 sets of 7 the next week, and then 3 sets of 8 the next week. And that's still progress. You're still building muscle and strength. Once you've maxed out that rep range, or just about, then you can add another 5 pounds and you start again at the lower end of the rep range. And you can do this for the first like 1 to 3 years of training and make really good progress. You'll get really strong and you'll build a lot of muscle in the process. So I'll give you a super simple workout plan that covers all the basic compounds and a few isolations. So I've basically got 2 workouts, and you alternate between them every other day. So you do 3 days a week, which is plenty for beginners. You do workout A on Monday, B on Wednesday, and A again on Friday. And then on week 2, you do B on Monday, A on Wednesday, and B on Friday. And then you just go back and forth like that. So in workout A, you're going to start with squats, and the numbers on the screen mean 3 to 5 sets of 6 to 8 reps. So you can start with 3 sets of 6, try and get up to 3 sets of 8 using like the same weight. At the beginning, you'll be able to make much faster progress than this. So you might be able to do 3 sets of 8 straight away, and then add 10 pounds to the bar and do another 3 sets of 8 the next week. Eventually that will slow down, and then you'll only be able to do 3 sets of 6, and then like next week 3 sets of 7, and so on like that. But You can squeeze a lot of progress out of this simple progression scheme by just adding like reps until you've maxed out the rep range and then adding weight. And the 3 to 5 sets means you can choose to do either 3 sets, 4 sets, or 5 sets. For most people, I would just recommend doing 3 sets at the beginning. Once you're a bit more advanced and you kind of learn what your body responds to better, then you can experiment with doing slightly higher sets. But as a beginner, you don't really need to do much more than 3 sets per exercise in each workout. So you're starting with squats, which will build your quads and your glutes, and basically your entire legs. After that, you have bench press, which is going to build your chest, shoulders, and triceps. And then bent over row, which is really good for your back thickness. And you're going to be holding onto the bar with your hands, so it's going to grow your forearms and your grip strength too. And then Romanian deadlift, which is also going to grow your grip strength. But the main focus is the hamstrings in this case. It's also going to build your glutes and your spinal erectors, which are those like columns of muscle that run up either side of your spine. So those are the big compound movements covered, and then we can do some kind of triceps extension, like an overhead extension or a triceps push down or a skull crusher to hit your triceps, obviously, in a much higher rep range. So you'll be using lighter weight, and then some kind of bicep curl, like a barbell curl or a dumbbell curl, cable curl, anything like that. And then you finish off with hollow body hold for your abs. So this is going to be good for like your static holding, isometric ab strength. Then workout B, you'll be squatting again. I have you squatting every workout because squats are just so effective at like producing the systemic hormonal response. So this will increase your testosterone a lot just by squatting, because it's like such a heavy load on your body and it requires so much muscle mass that it really stimulates a short-term testosterone release. And many people consider squat to be the king of the exercises because it involves so many muscles. It's kind of like a full body movement because you have to stabilize your upper body. You've got to keep the bar steady on your back. You have to like breathe heavily, and obviously all of your lower body is involved. And this is a slightly higher rep range than Monday. So you've got heavy squats on Monday and then like higher rep, lighter squats on Wednesday. After that, you do overhead press for your front delts. Also going to be pretty good for your triceps. I would recommend doing these seated, and I like to do them with dumbbells. That's because I have a kind of lingering neck injury and I can't really do straight bar overhead press, especially standing. It just really hurts my neck, and that's how I hurt my neck in the first place. So seated dumbbell seems to be the safest for me. You can do whichever one you prefer, and whichever one makes you feel your front delts the most without like straining other parts of your body too much. After that, you can do a pull-up. Feel free to use bands or the assisted pull-up machine if you can't do them yet, or you can do negative pull-ups where you just jump up and grab the bar and then slowly lower yourself down. That's a negative rep. And then once you're strong enough, you can start doing these weighted. So get a dip belt and you can start adding weight to your pull-ups and your dips. And then a deadlift in quite a heavy rep range. And deadlifts are good for your hamstrings, your glutes, your posterior chain, like a Romanian deadlift, but you're going to be using heavier weight. You're pulling off of the floor. And the deadlift, I would say, is going to give you more strength than a Romanian deadlift. And like the squat, this is kind of like a full body movement. And then we've got some delt isolation, so lateral raises for the side delts and reverse flies for the rear delts, because these don't really get hit with any other of the exercises. Rear delts kind of get hit with rows, but not super effectively. And then you finish off with hanging knee raises. Then on Friday, you repeat workout A. On Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I've got rest or conditioning. So if you want to do like your martial arts or running or sprints and stuff like that, you do that on these off days, and then try and leave 1 day per week to just rest where you don't do any training. You could still like play a sport or go for a hike or something, but it's not dedicated training on this day. There's no isolation for glutes or traps or forearms or calves in this program, but most of those are going to grow just by doing the big compound movements. So your traps and forearms are going to grow from like deadlifts and rows. Your glutes are going to grow from squats and deadlifts. The point is, these compounds will grow the big muscle groups that make the most difference in your physique. Those muscle groups should get most of your attention, more than the calves or the forearm flexors or whatever. If you get strong at these big compounds, you'll get bigger. And once you've built a bit of muscle, you're automatically going to look better. And it'll be easier for you to then lose the fat to show off your abs and the veins and the striations from the muscles that you have now built. So I know it sucks to be skinny fat right now, and I've been there for many years of my life. I felt skinny and weak, but also chubby. And the solution is get big and strong. use the program I've given you in this video or any other basic program that prioritizes big compound movements and allows you to make progress over time by adding weight or reps each workout or each week. Make sure you sleep 7 to 9 hours a night. Make sure you eat at least 0.8 grams per pound of body weight or 1.8 grams per kilo of body weight protein every day. And I mentioned earlier, you can either maintain or lean bulk while you're trying to build muscle. You've got a little bit of extra fat, so maintaining will probably be fine for a while, but eventually you'll probably need to lean bulk and go up to like 200, 300 or 400 calorie surplus, a small surplus, so you're not going to gain a lot of fat, but that energy surplus is going to be enough to provide the raw materials that your muscles need in order to grow themselves and produce more muscle fibers. So don't starve yourself in an attempt to like lose the fat and build muscle at the same time, because muscle needs an energy surplus in order to grow. Instead of trying to focus on taking away your fat, try to focus on building your muscle and your strength and growing rather than like shrinking, if that makes sense. I think that's a much more powerful mindset to be in, like the mindset of growing instead of trying to like take away what you already have. But anyway, I hope this helps you out. I hope you try this out and find it useful. Let me know if you've made any progress towards getting in better shape as a skinny fat guy. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.